So thank you all for joining us today. I want to welcome all of the students who are watching us live, either on Zoom or YouTube. So this is one of our virtual activities for Manufacturing Month. Today we have a panel of interns from Keysight Technologies, as well as the management team that oversees them. And for those that are watching, what we're hoping is that you learn what it's like to enter a manufacturing internship right out of high school. And we hope that this helps you better understand the overall career opportunities, not only within Keysight, but also within the overall manufacturing industry. So I am going to introduce everyone, but I think it's important to give you a little bit of background. We have a couple of interns on this panel that have all gone through a program called Sonoma Corps. Sonoma Corps is a two-year internship program, a two-year career readiness program. During the first year, it provides a small cohort of high school students with career readiness training and provides them with unique opportunities to explore local careers. The second year is a paid gap year internship where they also earn scholarship funds. And so because of that program, the interns that we have here on our panel today are actually right now in their second year during that internship. So I wanted to give that bit of a background so you understand where they're coming from, how they got to where they are, as well as when you hear the word Sonoma Corps, you'll have an understanding of what that is. Now I want to introduce everyone. I'm going to turn this over to grid view. I hope that shows up in the view for all the viewers. What I'd like to do is I'm going to go through one by one and introduce everyone and have you guys in the panel just raise your hand when I say your name. First, we have Jocelyn Camacho. She's a Sonoma Corps participant and current intern at Keysight, as well as Tom Lee. We also had a third person who was going to join us named Lorenzo Davalos. He's unfortunately out sick and literally, from what I hear, at a doctor's appointment right now. So he will be missed, but we do have a short little video from him that we will show. Now, the managers that are joining us today are Henry Comrade. He's the VP/GM of Technology Order Fulfillment. Nathan Avery is a Solutions New Product Introductions Manager. He's also the one that oversees Tom. And then Stephanie Cornell, the NPI Operations Manager, and Jocelyn's boss. Welcome, everyone. I'm going to take this off of that grid view now and hope it goes back to our regular speaker view. So what I'd like to do is, Henry, I'd like to start with you. As the VP of Technology and Order Fulfillment, perhaps you could just give us a real quick 1-minute overview about what Keysight Technologies is.
Okay, thank you and good afternoon, and thanks everyone for joining us. I'm in a conference room here at Keysight, so I don't have to, and I'm by myself, so I can take my mask off. But let me tell you a little about Keysight Technologies. So many of you may know that we were the original Hewlett-Packard or HP, but we have nothing to do with computers or servers or printers or anything like that. Quite simply, our mission is to accelerate innovation and technology to secure and connect the world. So what does that mean? Our customers are providing solutions and providing capabilities to all of us that allow us to communicate. So for example, these sorts of things. We test these, all the stuff that's inside this phone, we have solutions that test it. The infrastructure that supports the entire communications networks, we provide solutions that test that. And similarly, in the securing the world, we work with aerospace and defense customers. So, with testing of radar and communication systems. We test your car, the electronic systems that are in your car. So it's all about the innovation and the insatiable desire that we all have for data at our fingertips, and how that data is provided to us by service providers. If you go back into the supply chain, that's where you'll find Keysight, is all of those customers of ours that are providing those capabilities use Keysight test equipment to validate their solutions.
Great, thank you very much, Henry. And we have a short little video later that we're gonna look at that kind of explains, or at least it shows, one of the pieces of technology that you are working on. In fact, it's a piece of technology that I believe Jocelyn is in her job also working on. So we'll hear a little bit about that later on. First, what we're going to do is we're going to play some videos that the 3 interns all made that answers some questions about what they're learning on the job, what job they're doing, and what kind of surprised them. So what I'm going to do here is I'm actually going to share my screen, and we're just going to play these right off of YouTube. Everyone, I'm hearing that we are not getting sound from that. So give me a quick second here. Okay, we're going to try that again.
To learn how like all these moving pieces go into one and a whole. That's what I've been doing so far. I did hear that I'm going to be, they're just trying to put me to do different things every day, and it's very interesting to learn all these different things. It's not like the same thing you're doing over and over again. Like, they are going to push me to do more things. It's just kind of starting off right now. What has surprised me so far is how many moving parts there is to just one single product. I know that's just like there's more going on down there. There's so many roles and jobs that need to be done to perform this, to build the box at the end. What's also surprised me is how they actually treat you like this is an actual job. It is an internship, but it's an actual job. They don't treat you like if you've ever worked a minimum wage job. It's nothing like that. You get to at least through my part, you get to design your own hours. You get to ask for days off. You get a lot of liberty into when you work. See, I like to work mornings, so I come in the mornings, but I know the other students that came in with me, they work sometimes in the afternoon. They only work 4 hours. They get to decide whether or not how many hours they want. They don't treat you, they don't give you like yes, you have a set schedule, but you can decide those set schedules. I've learned a lot about the careers there are to do here. Like, there's so many careers here, it's crazy. Like, just in my floor, there's so many people doing, because there's so many moving pieces. There's my manager, her name is Stephanie, and then there's people that make the boxes, people that test the boxes, the engineers that write all the code that goes for the boxes. There's people that test them if they break down. When they break down, they have to figure out what's wrong with them and how do they fix them. It's very interesting. There's a lot of careers. I'm not saying all the names, I don't know all the names correctly, but there's a lot of moving pieces. Like, it's not just assembly. Like, I thought it was just gonna be like people just building things down here. There's so much more to that than just building. What I would say to a high schooler thinking about working at Keysight, I would say do it 100%. Go for it, apply, see whether you get the job. Don't doubt yourself. I doubted myself at first, but you just gotta go for it. Like, honestly, it was one of the best decisions I've made. I'm so glad I'm working here. I get so much liberty. I'm learning so much. You understand so much more about the workforce and like how everything goes. It's so fun. I say go for it. They treat you right. They are super nice. Everyone's super friendly and welcoming to make sure you know what you're doing. So my final words are, do it, apply for Keysight. It's so much fun.
Well, thank you very much, Jocelyn, for that. I want to apologize to everybody that I didn't have the sound on, but luckily I put the closed captioning on, so it kind of, I knew there was a reason for that. So I'm going to get into the other videos, Tom and then Lorenzo, who, like I said, is out sick. I do want to take a moment to remind everyone, you are welcome to, whether you're watching on YouTube or whether you're watching on Zoom, please feel free to ask questions along the way. So if, say during this next video, Tom says something and it brings up a question, feel free to put it in the Q&A or the comments, and we'll try to answer it when we're done with the videos, okay? Alrighty, so now I'm going to jump over to Tom's video here.
Hello, name's Tom. I'm a participant of the Sonoma Core's pilot program. By the end of this week, at the time of this recording, it would have been 2 months since I've started working at Keysight. For these 2 months, I've been tasked with writing different software to automate converting files, testing measuring equipment, and displaying data in real time. Pleasantly surprised by how open and friendly everyone is at Keysight. This culture that we have developed allows the ease of collaboration. I'm also surprised at how much independence I'm given as an intern. When I'm assigned a task, I take the initiative to gather the resources I need to accomplish it while leveraging the expertise of those around me. While working at Keysight, I've learned of the different careers within the manufacturing company. We have teams including health and safety, R&D engineers, sales and business, customer support and services, manufacturing, and quality control. There are many STEM career paths that lead to developing skills applicable to integral roles at Keysight. That said, I'd like to tell the high school students considering manufacturing as a career path, go for it. Thinking back to high school, I really enjoyed learning about science and math, and knowing its practical applications to local professions. My interest in puzzles and computers are also fulfilled whenever I'm at work. I'm sure if you have any interest in STEM, such as computers, electricity, cars, or robots, this job position in manufacturing you'd enjoy.
Thank you so much, Tom. I'm going to jump over to Lorenzo's video right now. Once again, feel free to ask questions in the chat functions.
Hi, my name is Lorenzo Davalos. I am a 2020 graduate from Pioneer High School, and I am in the first generation of Sonoma Core. I was luckily able to apply to Keysight, and luckily I was able to be able to work here at this wonderful company. So what do I do in my internship? So what I do in my internship is I work in the machine shop. I'm in all the machines that produce parts, high precision parts, and I'm just usually there as like I started off as a shop helper. I still am, but just recently I was like let loose a little bit on one of the machines because they taught me. They have taught me how to work the machine, and just recently I was just let loose, and it's a simple machine. It only has 2 tools, and it was a great machine for me to learn on. I have learned on a little bit on the indexes. I actually really enjoy the indexes a lot. It has a lots of tools, a lots of measurements you have to do when the part comes out, and it's just I don't know, I just like that machine a lot. And I really like the machine I work on right now. It's very fun, even though it's only like 2 tools. It's the same parts. It's it's just, I think the fun part is that I'm allowed to do it on my own now because they taught me how to work the machine. So what has surprised me so far? Something that has surprised me so far is the precision that these machines work on and the amount of precision that is needed for these parts to be sent out. Because I didn't know what a micron was before I came to Keysight. I knew what thousandths of an inch was, but I did not know what a micron was. And it just surprises me that by 1 micron, a part is the difference between good and bad, and that just surprises me because a micron is so small. So have I learned about any careers you did not know existed before? I have not knew anything. I have not like learned about any new careers, but something that I did learn was that machinists and mechanical engineers are 2 different things. I used to think that a mechanical engineer can be doing the same thing as a machinist, and I guess from what some other employees that have been there for a long time, they said, oh no, I'm a machinist, I can't do the programming, that's for them. And I thought it was like the same thing. That's something I learned. And something that I would tell a current high schooler about working at Keysight is that it is a very good company to work at. They're very employee focused, so they take care of their employees very well. As me currently, I am sick. I don't know if you can kind of hear I'm sick, and I'm at home, and they just say no, take your time, and I like that a lot. And the people here are very nice. You're not gonna feel out of place. Oh no, I did feel out of place a little bit, but that's only because I just graduated high school, and everyone here is just way older, way more wise in what they do. But something I would say is that something I would say for a high schooler is that it is overwhelming in the beginning, but then you start getting comfortable, and then the people around you, your coworkers, they're very welcoming. No one's gonna like give you the backhand. No one's gonna like not want to talk to you. Everybody's like, if you need help and you ask somebody, they will generally help you. And luckily, I have been with people. I have worked with other coworkers that have taught me, and willingly, not forcefully. They willingly want to teach me, and I really enjoy that a lot. And thank you. That's it.
Oh, 1 second. Well, I think those videos are really important for us to kind of get an inside scoop about what it's like to just jump right into the manufacturing industry. And so I really appreciate you guys making those videos. And it's nice that even though Lorenzo was sick and couldn't be here, we were able to hear a little bit from him. But I do want to now kind of start to talk, just have a bit more of a discussion and ask some questions. And this one is going to be both for Jocelyn and Tom. You both talked about what surprised you when you were going into your internships and what you like, but I'd really like to know just kind of what your first thought when you started your internship. We heard Lorenzo mention that he felt a little bit out of place at first, right, among all these people who are older and have been in the industry quite a while, but how he kind of got over that. And I'd really like to hear your thoughts about what it was like just jumping in right out of high school. Jocelyn, do you mind taking the first stab at that?
Yeah, of course. So it was very overwhelming at first. I felt intimidated to be alongside all these people that had already accomplished a lot, and I was just like a little scared to be working alongside them. I was nervous that I was gonna make a mistake and that they were like I was gonna feel bad about it, but it did not feel like that at all. At the beginning, it was a little terrifying for me. I'm not that awkward socially. I do like talking to people, so it's kind of easy for me to get along. But I do know that they were so welcoming, so friendly. Any question I had, just ask them. I usually have one-on-ones with Stephanie, and it was like she would always like, "Oh, do you need help? Do you need help?" Like they're so welcoming, so friendly. That's one of the main things that surprised me. Was yes, I was scared and intimidated because it is a new job, a big company. The name Keysight Technologies sounds scary, but it's not. The people are really friendly. Yeah, I was a little overwhelmed at first.
Do you feel like you got a little bit more comfortable as time went on and as you settled in? Okay.
Sure. Everyone was so helpful. Like they just like, oh, do you need help setting up your desk, finding the tools, like finding the locations? Do you know where you're going? Like, because there's a lot of buildings, so I was a little bit lost at first. And they're like, do you need help finding your desk, your buildings? Like everyone was super helpful. You do feel overwhelming, but it feels like a family there, so it doesn't really it doesn't feel like scary anymore after a couple weeks.
Yeah, I remember taking my first tour at Keysight Technologies, and it's incredible how much land they have, as well as how many buildings there are. And I could easily see how one can get lost in that. Tom, what do you think? What were some of your first thoughts when you started your internship?
Like what Jocelyn said, my initial impression was the culture that we have here. Everyone often shares their ideas and everything. Everybody's friendly. Most of my work involves learning and then applying what I've just learned to what they've assigned me to do.
And so, Tom, we were talking earlier, you're more on the coding side of things, right? You're working with software? Yeah?
Yes.
Did you have a little bit of background in that before, or are you feeling like you're learning that on site?
Before I came here, I had some programming projects as a personal hobby. But when I came here, I got to refine some of those skills over time.
Yeah. I'm getting a question in our Q&A here, and it's basically asking, after completing Sonoma Core, do participants usually go on to a four-year college or start full-time work? And, you know, from a person who helped put on the Sonoma Core program, I said it can be either. But let's talk to each of you. Tom, while I have you in front of me here, on my screen at least, maybe you can answer that. What are your plans, either currently as far as school, but also in going on in the future?
Currently, I'm not attending any sort of college or like education right now. I'm planning to just take the entire year off to learn about what I want to do in college to see if I like this career path or not. I'm planning to attend a four-year university after this gap year internship is over.
And one of the things that I mentioned at the beginning is that the nice thing about the Sonoma Core program is while you're in your internship, not only are you getting a paid internship, you're also earning scholarship funds. So that'll help, hopefully, as you move on to a four-year. Jocelyn, what about you? What are you doing for education right now and future?
So currently I'm attending the JC for 2 years, and it's very helpful with the schedule at Keysight because they accommodate your schedule. So I was a little stressed going into it that I was gonna have a lot of homework and that I was not gonna have a lot of time to work, but they're very they let you choose your schedule, and I'm doing 2 years right now. And when I finish the school, the JC, I'm planning to transfer. I don't know yet where to, but I am planning to transfer to a 4-year.
Great, thank you. I'm gonna ask a question here now of some of the managers. We talked about what surprised the interns when they joined Keysight, and I'd really like to hear from, maybe we can go to the direct managers. What surprised you when taking on these interns, kind of fresh out of high school? Why don't we start, Nitin? Why don't we start with you?
Sure, absolutely. I would actually say it's somewhat ironic, but I would say the level of maturity and dedication was even higher than I expected, and so I thought that was really a bit of a surprise, and just the ability to quickly absorb the information and put it to use even faster than what I had hoped. Right. I give a lot of credit to the individuals here, but I think it's also something that is doable by any of these high school students that are maybe watching at the moment. Give yourself a lot of credit. You can do it. So just put some effort into it, and you can make contributions fairly quickly. So that was probably the biggest surprise, how quickly we got, if you will, some contributions from a little bit of coaching and guidance from a mentor.
Yeah, I think that's really wonderful for the students to hear, because a lot of the students feel, you know, I'm in high school right now, and what do I know about joining in a manufacturing company, especially one the size of Keysight? And I think it's great to hear that there's still room for them, and everybody has to start somewhere, right? And it sounds like Keysight, as well as, you know, from what I know a lot of other manufacturers, and this is sort of a thing throughout the local manufacturing industries, there's a lot of room for new folks to come in, and a lot of patience for them to learn and grow. But Stephanie, I'd like to hear your thoughts on that too. What surprised you?
Sure. You know, it was funny. I actually started Keysight when I was Jocelyn's age. And so in anticipation for her arrival, I tried to think back to the things that I thought I would have needed. And she really surprised me. She had way more confidence than I did. She wasn't intimidated by my entire staff that are extremely technical, and she just really jumped right in there and got to work with them. And you know, they've come to me and said the same thing, like, wow, she's got a lot of confidence for her age, and she's not intimidated by us at all. So even though she says she was terrified, it never came through to the day-to-day. So I think just that overall computer savviness and willingness, you know, I think she's even showed me a couple of things. Oh yeah, don't send this, do that. You know, just that was the biggest surprise. I thought she was going to need a little more care and support, and really, you know, she doesn't. She's in there and she's doing R&D development work with my team and learning new things every day. So
that's really good. You know, on that same note, we have a short video clip about what Jocelyn and you are working on right now.
yeah,
I'm going to play that. I think it's like 30 or 40 seconds, and then I'll stop it. And then I'm going to ask you just to maybe tell us what we just looked at.
Sure.
Okay, so that just as a real quick, showcase of one of your products. What were we just looking at there?
So that actually is our UXA X series spectrum analyzer that we launched about 4 years ago. We're selling that primarily out of, or we're shipping that primarily out of Santa Rosa and Malaysia, Penang, Malaysia. Again, we shipped that in 2016, and we're doing some manufacturing and production here, a percentage of that. What Jocelyn's working on aside from that is she's also supporting our new next generation spectrum analyzer, which is 110 gig, 4 gig of IF bandwidth. And so she's working directly with my MPI technician team, actually doing assembly and applying gap pads and poly iron to their PCAs. So pretty exciting stuff.
That is really cool. Jocelyn, do you want to say anything about it, just about what it's like to work on something like that?
It is very interesting. At first, it is a little confusing because there's a lot of moving pieces to it. I will say that I'm getting more used to it more and more by the daily. It was intimidating. So those who feel intimidating, it is kind of intimidating, but you kind of get to know more and more about it. Like I didn't even know what those were. They look like mini computers, but they do so much more. I don't really know all what they do, but they do a lot, and you just get to learn on the job.
Thank you. So I'm going to ask just an overall question, and maybe somebody can answer it. One of the questions from YouTube is, we heard about a micron from Lorenzo in his video, talking about how small it is, but how big of a difference it can make in some of the tools that you guys build. What is a micron?
Well, I answered it online, so I'll answer it, Brandon. So a micron is 1/1,000,000th of a meter. So about the diameter of a human hair. And the reason these small sizes are so important, if you hear about the term 5G, or the 5th generation of communications, those signals are traveling at higher and higher frequencies. You heard Stephanie use the word 110 gig. So 110 gigahertz. The frequency of the signal that comes out of your wall is 60 hertz. So it's orders of magnitude higher frequency. And without going into a big technical discussion, if the tolerances at those frequency ranges are very small. So if you have an imperfection on the order of 1/1,000,000th of a meter, the power that's generated so that we get a clean signal on our phone could be hindered. The ability to keep our phone call from interfering with your phone call could be interfered with if those tolerances are not adhered to. And that's a lot of the work we do here as well that Lorenzo is involved with. We machine parts and the tolerances are less than a micron.
That's incredible. Now I have another question. This is more for the managers again. It's coming in, I believe, from YouTube, which is, are the managers and the supervisors taking on more of a mentor role than they would with, say, like regular employees?
Yeah, so this is Nitin here. I'll address it real quick. In my case, what I decided to do was I actually assigned a recent hire that is doing the same type of job or a similar type of role as what Tom would do, as a mentor, as a technical mentor, and someone that can show them the ropes, because they just recently went through a similar transition over the last couple of years. And so that's how I've approached it, in order to kind of connect the intern with someone that's had a recent experience, as well as has more common experience to go with what they need to do. but yeah, definitely also checking in and ensuring that they're supported along the way.
Mm-hmm. What about you, Stephanie? Do you want to answer that too, or do you think that sums it up?
Yeah, sure. It's a little different for us. I have a pretty big team, and so basically we've taken more of a team approach, and then obviously I meet with Jocelyn every week as well, just to make sure she's got everything that she needs. But she's got a person in manufacturing and production that kind of leads her through her day and helps her with whatever she needs. And then we also have some R&D techs that are supporting her and giving her some of that new exciting perspective of what the technology is and what we're working on. So it's been more of a group effort than a direct mentorship.
Cool. Thank you very much.
Mm-hmm.
I have a question, and this is going to be for Tom and Jocelyn. What did you guys do to prepare for these internships? Like, how did you, what made you ready to jump into something like this?
As a part of the Sonoma Core program, we spent our senior year like learning about soft skills, how to do interviews, and touring the various facilities.
Nice. And you think that, I mean, that basically helped you kind of explore all the different options?
All right.
Jocelyn, do you want to say anything about that?
I think Tom answered it all. We pretty much did. I was in the same program with Tom, and I think he got it all.
Okay. So I want to ask both of you, Tom and Jocelyn again. I want to ask what made you choose this internship in manufacturing? Like, what was it about? Was it the company, or was it the concept of working in manufacturing that you were excited about? Jocelyn, you want to go?
Yeah, I can go first. Well, I think it was the company for me, because I know there's a lot of career options there, and I know I wouldn't just be doing one thing every single day. It's not just one job, and I didn't really know as to what I was really going to get myself into. I really like technology, and I find it interesting, but it's just like I chose the company because I've heard it was a good company, and just touring the place and seeing how everything worked, it was really fascinating. I just wanted to work there.
Nice. I just got another question real quick that just says, how long did the internships last? Do you want to answer that, Jocelyn?
Yeah, the Sonoma Core internship was for a year, and then we do, you can go to school. Since I'm going to school, you can do a 1-year work internship, so it's 2 years in total. But yeah.
Yeah, so the first year is your high school year, right? And then the next year is once you graduate, is your internship. Tom, do you want to say anything about that? About why you chose to go into a manufacturing-based internship?
Throughout high school, I was interested in puzzles and mathematics, computers, and all that stuff. And Keysight just happened to have a role open for tech. I just wanted to see what I was going to do there and see if I wanted to continue pursuing this career path.
Great. So we're getting fairly close to time, but I do want to ask a pretty important question. And this is for the managers. Why is it that you guys work with interns? What is it? Why is it so important for Keysight to take on new interns like this? And I'll let any of you answer.
I'll start. So, first of all, I have a real soft spot for interns. I was one. When I see Lorenzo, I'm going to tell him I'm not that old. But it seems like yesterday I was in high school. But it's really quite selfish from a company perspective. We have a very experienced workforce, and we need to replenish that workforce and take advantage of the skill set of these bright kids that are Tom's age and Jocelyn's age. They have great ideas, and what they don't know, they make up for with energy, enthusiasm, new approaches, and new methodologies to attack the problem. So we're going to need folks for a long time to join Keysight Technologies. We want to expose the young kids to these internships so they see that there are technical job opportunities here in Sonoma County, and if they fall in love with what they're doing, well, we've got our hands on them, and we can keep them here, and if they decide to go away to college, we hope that's fantastic. We support that 100% and hope that when they graduate, they want to come back. And so it's really about exposing kids from Sonoma County to the great opportunities in the tech field. And it's in multiple industries, not just high-tech electronics like Keysight, and get them exposed, excited, and keep them here.
Yeah, it is incredible how many manufacturers we have here in Sonoma County alone, and it goes pretty unnoticed. It's not like we have, we're not like Silicon Valley where everywhere you turn, you can see them. And you guys, for example, you guys are hidden up in the hills, and there's actually multiple tech companies right there up on that Fountain Grove Hill, including, Medtronic and others. And so I think it's really interesting. It's sort of this hidden secret, but it's such a huge economic driver for our local area. And there are tens of thousands of jobs in manufacturing here in Sonoma County. So we do have to wrap it up here. Quickly, Tom and Jocelyn, I want to know, do you think that this Sonoma Core program and the internship at Keysight has helped you just better understand your future career path?
The Sonoma Core program allowed me to get hands-on experience with what I'm expected to do, or give me an idea of what I'm going to do further down my career path.
Nice. Jocelyn, what do you think? You think this has helped you?
Yes, I think this has helped me a lot. It's very helpful to learn all these careers, and Sonoma Core was really helpful to learn about all these jobs, and it was helpful overall.
Great. Well, with that, I think it's about time we wrap up. I want to thank all of the panelists here, the interns and the managers, not only for being on this, but also, just for participating in this whole program, the whole Sonoma Core program, and taking on these interns. It's incredible what you guys are all doing, and so helpful. And I also want to thank all of the students that are watching this live. And if you're not watching it live and you're watching it afterwards, it's fine too. Thank you so much for being a part of this. I do want to end it with just letting everybody who's watching know what is coming up, because we have still 3 more activities for Manufacturing Month. And you can see it all on the same website that I'm sure you got this link for, which is ctesonomacounty.org/virtual CCL. That stands for Career Connected Learning. But we have on October 20th, we have a live virtual tour and manufacturing demonstration at Max Machinery, which will be unique because here with Keysight, we're looking at a very large manufacturer. Max Machinery is a smaller manufacturer with about 20 people. So it'd be really interesting to see the difference. On October 22nd, we have an Intro to Engineering panel discussion. That'll be an all-female engineer panel, which will be wonderful to see. And October 29th, we are going to LabCon in Petaluma, and we're going to see a production line, a multi-million-dollar production line that makes hundreds of thousands of little pieces that are used in COVID-19 tests. So we hope that you can join us for the rest of those activities throughout Manufacturing Month. And I want to say thank you to everyone, and have a